It snowed again.
Welcome to Baking with Frank. Frank Rush was a baker at the turn of the 20th century at the Uffelman Baking Company in Cincinnati, and then at his own bakery in Newport, Kentucky. Frank was also my great-grandfather. Through his handwritten batch-sized recipe book, I'm breaking down his recipes and getting to know him better. I'm Tom Mattingly, and this is Baking with Frank.
Welcome back to Baking with Frank. So, it is nearly March, which means we're coming up on nearly a year. I believe this might be our 50th episode, although I didn't take the time to count. Anywho, glad that you're here. If you haven't yet, go hit the like and the follow buttons. I'm not sure what it does, but it'll make my mom happy. So, today we are tackling Frank's loaf cake. Now, I kind of think this is a pound cake, but he calls it loaf cake. He actually has two loaf cake recipes. One that uses exclusively egg whites, one that uses exclusively egg yolks. I'm just going to use eggs because it's who I am. So we're going to get started here, and I in fact already did get started by creaming together a half pound of sugar with a half pound of butter right there. Let's bring it a little closer here. So all of that together, we're going to add in a quarter cup, which is also an eighth of a pint of milk. Get that going slowly. There we go. While I crack 2 eggs. Hold on to that. Stay there. There's one. All right, your turn. And there's 2. We're going to give those a spin here for a minute. Get everything all mixed together, and we'll come back. All right, so that's all incorporated. To that, we're going to add half a pound, almost 7 ounces of flour, all-purpose flour. Why 7 ounces? We don't know why Frank did the things he did, and we don't ask anymore. And also a quarter of an ounce of baking powder. Right there, here we go, and off we go. I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking a little heavy, but we're gonna forge ahead. So we're putting in a quarter teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of vanilla, and a quarter pound of chopped pecans. Now, Frank's recipe says walnuts, didn't have walnuts, and pecans. I'm going to give that a stir. Smells awful good, I'll tell you that. All right, so just giving this a final little stir. It is very thick, but make sure everything's incorporated here. Then we will get it in a pan and go from there. All right, so getting the last little bits into the pan here. It is very heavy, so really not much question in my mind that it's a pound cake. At this point, it might be a 4-pound cake. See what I did there? Let's just even it out a little bit, like this. Well, come on. Everybody play together. We'll put that little dab right back in the middle. This is going to be a good long bake. So we're going in the oven for Wait, look at me. You're going in the oven for somewhere between 45 and 75 minutes because it's a break. See you on the other side.
All right, y'all. This ended up being 65 minutes, an hour and 5 minutes in the end. But there it is. I'm gonna let it cool and see where we are.
All right, so we're out of the oven. It ended up taking an hour and 5 minutes, 65 minutes in the end, to get it all the way done, but looking good. Here is Exhibit A. And just for fun, we're going to make a whiskey glaze because what goes better with pecans and cake than whiskey? So super simple here. I have a tablespoon of butter melted, 2 tablespoons of whiskey right there going in, and 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. This is not part of Frank's original recipe. As we've discussed in the past, I don't know if Frank was a teetotaler or not, but he didn't put this in the recipe. I just thought it would sound good. By God, it does. Get all that mixed in, just like that. And you can see over here, I have the cake sitting on a rack on a pan so that we, don't have whiskey glaze all over the counter, because then I would be in trouble with my better half. All right, that looks good. Easy peasy. So let me move the whiskey not too far away. Just going to create some holes. Some of you may know about poke cake. This is very much the same concept, just making a place for the whiskey to go down into this thing. It doesn't make me mad that occasionally I hit a pecan that's too big for the toothpick to go through. All right, there's that. And nothing ceremonious about this. All right, we're going to let that, wait, look at me. We're going to let that soak in, let it finish cooling, and then we're going to have cake. All right, y'all. Let's see if we can make this a little easier. We're just going to go right down the middle. Ready? That looks tasty. You should smell this. It smells really, really good. All right, now to the important part. There's a slice. Ooh, it's still kind of warm in the middle. I'm okay with that. It's super tasty. Probably could have done 1 stick of butter. I know. Why would I do something like that? But probably could have done 1 stick of butter. But there's nothing wrong with this. It's going to be a firm favorite here in the house. Bye.